Hey everybody, so it's time for my currently reading. I hope you like these videos. I love telling you about what the books that I am in the middle of and what I am currently thinking, and then you get to see what I thought at the end when I put them in a wrap up. So today I'm here to tell you about the 4 books that I'm currently reading. So let's get started. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you all doing today? As always, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're safe, and of course, I hope you're reading an amazing book or 2 or 3 or 4, because I am. I am reading 4 amazing books right now. All of them very, very different, but all of them really, really good, that it's becoming very difficult to choose which one to read because I want to know how all of them end. So let's get them on your TBR. Get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, however you keep track of your TBR. If you are so able, please order these books from your local independent bookstore. All of them but one are out. All of them but one are out, so you can get your hands on them, or you can pre-order the last one, or get your library to get you a copy so you can read them or listen to them on audio, or however you are going to enjoy them. I really hope you pick all 4 of these up because they are pretty darn fantastic. I am going to just go in random order, and I am going to start with The Daughtership by Boo Trundle. This is out from Pantheon Books. One, I am obsessed with the name Boo Trundle. I think it is my favorite name that I've heard in such a long time. I did not know who Boo Trundle is. I know that this is her first novel, but it looks like she is pretty prolific, and she's released 3 albums of original music, so she is an artist across the board. And her new book is Crazy, Wacky, Wonderful. So this is how I'm describing this book. So our main character's name is Catherine. She's a married woman with 2 children who has had quite a past. She's dealt with mental health, she's dealt with drugs, she's dealt with addiction, and she's dealt with different issues, sexual issues also, that have caused her to sort of have these sort of split, I don't want to call them personalities because they're more than just a personality, but she has these different voices, and the 3 main voices are, I always get their names mixed up. We have Truett, who is sort of the most level-headed, but also the one that's struggling the most with the fact that Catherine is now currently going through a really tough mental health time in her life. Star was a stripper and is very sexual in nature, but also sort of gets the big picture better than anyone else. And then Smushbug is the youngest, and we learn a lot about the history of Catherine through that. And then there are so many other voices, so the book jumps around a lot. But what's fantastic is Smushbug, Truett, and Star are on this submarine where they are sort of caught, and the submarine is falling apart. I am taking the submarine as a metaphor for Catherine's mental health, and as her mental health deteriorates, the submarine continues to fall apart. And Truett is trying to fix the submarine, Smushbug is trying to avoid everything that's going on, and Star is just trying to get through life. We go to Catherine and we learn a lot about her marriage. Her marriage is sort of falling apart. She's looking for support. I think there's some struggles in communication. We also get Catchy, I think is how you say it, which is her younger self, where we learn about her out of rehab, going through AA, and sort of trying to restart her life and make decisions that way. All of the characters and all iterations of Catherine struggle with good decisions, but I think there are a lot of intervening factors that you learn through. There is also a ghost that talks in many different voices from Catherine's historical family past. I told you, it is a bonkers book, but it all makes sense as you read it. You sort of see how this historical ghost telling almost leads to who Catherine is today. And all of these different perspectives from all of these different sort of points of view of Catherine as a person add to her complexity and the multiple layers of who she is as a human being. Yeah, I'm really loving it. At times it's funny. It's very dark at times as well. It's dealing with some heavy topics, but in such a unique and fantastically odd way. I hope that makes sense. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. You know me, I listen to audio while I read. I'm listening to the audio on this one as I read it. Different characters, different voices for all the characters. It's fantastic. And that's The Daughtership by Trundle, and this is out from Pantheon. Highly recommend it. Didn't know what I was getting into, and I'm loving it. I really am. We're going to go to a very different type of book right now, and that is Wellness by Nathan Hill. I want to thank Knopf for sending me this beautiful finished copy of this book. You remember Nathan Hill, he wrote The Nix a couple of years ago, a book that is on my shelf and I need to finish. But I started Wellness again, listening to the audio as I read this. Fan-freaking-tastic. So this book starts by introducing us to two characters who really come to the city. I believe they live in Chicago. Let me make sure my brain. Chicago, yes, Chicago. They come to Chicago. They are both in school. They're both sort of fleeing their families and are self-created orphans, if that makes sense. They live right across the way from each other. They become obsessed with each other through watching each other through the windows. They meet one day and it's love at first sight. And what the book then dives into is their relationship concurrently, not only as it develops from this love and first sight moment, but we get a lot of point of view from what it's going through right now and what happens when all of that passion seems to go away. Does it discount everything that came before? Do you believe in love and first sight if you fall out of love? There's complications. The main character, the woman, Elizabeth, is dealing with motherhood and the struggles of motherhood. And then the husband, Jack, I think? Yeah, Jack. Sorry, you know I'm terrible at names. Jack is an artist, but he is also involved in real estate in a lot of ways and making decisions that put his family in maybe financial jeopardy. And the book, it's really dense. I'll be honest with you. There are pages like this where there's very little breakage, but it's not unreadable. It's extremely, as Ryan said last night at dinner, Nathan Hill's writing is very accessible. But he tackles some really deep topics, but in such a human way. This book is about relationships, and I'm just learning right now about the fact that Elizabeth works for a company called Wellness that researches the placebo effect, which is really adding depth and dimension to everything I've read before. The sophistication of this storytelling is top notch. The characters are real on every page. The writing is vivid and dense and beautiful. And the characters are problematic and make weird, very tough decisions. I am blown away. I'm hoping to see this on the National Book Award long list because I want more people to read it. And that's Wellness by Nathan Hill. This is out from Knopf. You can get your hands on it right now. Okay. I am now also reading one sort of fantasy novel, and that's Wolfsong by TJ Klune. This is out from Tor. Right now they are reissuing this series. It came out some time ago, and now they are reissuing it in these beautiful new covers. So I do want to say the one thing that cracks me up about all of TJ Klune books is if you look at all of their covers, you always think that his books have a YA feel. And this book, when you look at this cover, it sort of feels like that, right? And it is so much so that in the beginning, on the very inner flap, they say that this series is for adult readers, because I think the cover's a little misleading, but that takes nothing away from TJ Klune's ability to tell a story. I've read three books, and this is my fourth, I think, by TJ Klune, and I think he is fantastic. So this is if you are looking for a queer, werewolf magic story, this is for you. The main character is Ox. We meet him in in high school. I think he's a sophomore, going to be a junior. His father leaves him. He doesn't really have a place, except he has his mother, and he works at this body shop where he has been taken under the wing of the person who's owned owns it. I think his name is Gordo. Very soon after the book starts, a family comes back to town, the Bennett family, and we find out that their youngest adopts Ox immediately. We find out that the youngest, his name is Joe, has been through a lot of trauma. Until he met Ox, he hadn't spoken in over a year. And Ox becomes part of the family, which you learn, this is not a spoiler, is a pack of werewolves. And it's all about made family, right? It's all about how this pack absorbs Ox, how it absorbs his mother. We learn that Gordo has a history with a member of this family. There is a ton of queer love in this. It's a lot about the fluidity of sexuality. It's all about the importance of taking care of those people that you love. It is really good. I'm really enjoying it. Let me see how far I am in it right now. I'm 172 pages in. I am totally committed. There's been action, there's been love, there's been laughter, there's been humor. 100%, I'm bought in. And yeah, I think they just released the second one. I saw it in the bookstore as well. And there's a third and a fourth, and I'm not sure if a fifth one has come out yet. But I'm totally bought in. Wolfsong by TJ Klune. This new edition by Tor is absolutely gorgeous. The cover makes me laugh because of what we talked about, but the story does not, because it's fantastic. Okay, last but not least is the only book that is not out yet that I am currently reading. And this book is taking me a little bit longer to read, and I think it's because of the emotional heft of what the author is tackling. And that's The Unsettled by Anya Mathis? I'm sorry, I think I'm saying that right. You may remember her. She wrote The 12 Tribes of Hattie. That was an Oprah book. It was her debut, and it was an Oprah book. This is coming out from Knopf. It comes out in October. So far, the majority of this book for me has been around Ava, who is a mother who has just left a relationship because of something that happens. I don't want to give it away because I think it is important. But she's married to her husband. She has a son, Toussaint, who is from a prior relationship. Something has happened and she's had to move out, and she winds up in sort of public housing. And she is struggling. She is struggling with the money aspect. She's struggling with being in this housing. She's struggling with what to do with her son. Should she just try to make amends so she can go home? And the other main character in this book is her mother, Toussaint's grandmother, who is, I'm trying to remember, Duchess. Duchess is her name. Duchess lives in Bonaparte, Alabama, which is a fully Black-owned, fully incorporated town in Alabama, where it used to be a thriving community, and now it's dwindled down to 5 or 6 people, and corporate America is trying to take the town away from them. Duchess was a singer, and she was on the road. She met a man. They fell in love. And once her husband died, she sort of lost sense of self, but she has stayed in Bonaparte. And we get the history of this town through Duchess's eyes, and the history of sort of her relationship. And then we learn about Ava and Toussaint, and how Ava has sort of come to be who she is, as they all deal with just life in general. Anya is an amazing writer. Mathis does a fantastic job of putting us in these characters' minds and place. It is deep and dark and really, really beautifully written. I think this is, if you like, it seems cliche to say, but if you like Toni Morrison, if you like Jesmyn Ward, if you like T.R.E. Jones, I think they have a lot of connection in their ability to put pain on the page in a way that doesn't overwhelm you, but really hits you in your heart. All of these authors just have a brilliant way with language. I'm loving. I haven't finished it yet. This one, I'm the least far in. I'm 75 pages into this one, but that's The Unsettled. And it comes out in October of 2023. Highly recommend pre-ordering it. Okay, so those are the 4 books that I am currently reading right now. So far, all of them, I promise you, are 100% worth your time. They are freaking-tastic. So I hope you get your hands on all of them. As always, if you're a return subscriber, I cannot thank you enough. You are the reason I do this every day. If you are new to my channel, I thank you so very, very much for watching, and I hope you subscribe and hit the button and all that. As always, I encourage you to read globally, shop locally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye, everyone.